Hello everyone, hope you guys are doing great and welcome back to the channel. So in my today's video, I'm going to take you through the con call of E2E Networks. We will discuss what the management said, where the growth is coming from, and whether this company can do really well in the coming future and could be a good long-term story. So just let's get into it, right? So one of the most important thing what the management said, right? So from basically being a cloud company, they want to transition themselves as an AI infrastructure company, right? So currently they run a large GPU cluster, support AI training and inference, and build their own platform called TRI Stack. But what they are trying to say, right? Currently they are renting their hardwares to the companies, right? What they want to do, right? They want to enable AI outcomes also. So if you see the whole shift, right, the company is completely shifting, not just for providing, these hardwares on rent where companies can use it, but at the same time provide solutions to these companies, right? So let's, before we get into further detail, just look at the Q4 and the FY26 numbers. If you look from the revenue perspective, it increased by almost 186% to 95.6 crores, and EBITDA margin was around 60% plus. And if you look at the FY26 perspective, right, revenue was around close to 245 crores, and overall it was still loss. And why this loss was there? Because of the investments that they are doing in GPUs, right? Because GPUs are not cheap, they are expensive. So at the same time, with the amount that they're investing, they have to provide depreciation for it. So if you look from the overall business, it is profitable, but in terms of accounting profit, it looks a loss because the company has to provide depreciation for these GPUs. So let's look at the demand and what the management said, what the demand is coming from, right? So management clearly said that the GPU demand is very strong globally. In India also the demand is quite strong. And the another important thing that they said, right, that the usage of AI could grow up to 10x to 50x in the coming years. And also the other thing that they said is, right, currently GPUs are in short supply and they have no pricing pressure. I mean, what an amazing situation to be, right? The demand is there, there is a shortage of supply, and they have a pricing power. So this clearly means that over the time, right, this could very well benefit the company, and they could have a very, very good operating leverage. Obviously, the demand is definitely there, but the demand without having a capacity to fulfill it doesn't make any sense, right? So let's see what the company is doing to increase their capacity. So currently they have a capacity of around 3,900 GPUs. They have planned to add another 2,048 GPUs, and their target for FY27 is to have around close to 6,000 GPUs. And another thing the management is saying, right, that this is just the starting point. They want to do even much more further. So their growth is not just driven by what the consumers are demanding, but at the same time they're doing their capacity expansion, which clearly shows that this, if everything goes well, that this growth is going to be sustainable. And if you look at the another important thing with the management said, right, it's about high value tokens. So in simple term, every output that AI gives, right, it is called tokens. Some outputs are lower token and some outputs are high value token. For example, right, basic a chatbot is a low value, but if AI is solving real business problem, that is called high value. So what E2 is trying to do, right, they are shifting just from selling compute to enabling high value outcomes. So in that way, what will happen, right, the amount of revenue that they earn from their customers can be even more. And at the same time, if they're able to the value that they're giving, if it is really beneficial and it increases, then over the time E2 can even increase their prices, and the consumers will be willing to pay. So let's look at their another strategy that they're using. See, GPUs are expensive, they require a lot of money. So what are they trying to do to ensure that they have the money to get this GPU? So the three things that they're trying to do, they're trying to use their own capex, they are getting into debt, and now they are going into asset light model. So what is happening, right? They have gone into a partnership with Larsen and Toubro. So what will happen? Larsen and Toubro will invest the money to buy the GPUs, and E2E will operate them. So which means they can get more GPUs, the growth can be faster, and the capital that is required from the company perspective will reduce. So, but at the same time, right, we have looked at all the good things, what the company is doing, the demand which is coming, as well as the capacity utilization they're increasing. We cannot ignore the risk, right? Because we have to be subjective. We just can't be all in la la land thinking that everything will go well, right? So if you look at the key risk which might be there is, because of higher depreciation, the profit looks low. The other thing is execution risk. This all depends upon the management, right? So if they are able to execute it quite well, this is going to be a really, really good story. The other thing is the chain delays. This is another part because the management clearly said the GPUs are currently sold out. So if in the future the GPUs that they want, right, if they're not able to, how to say, procure them on time, right, this could impact the overall growth. And the other thing, what the management, the other risk is that management has given no clear guidance. What the management is saying, right, that the revenue can still be lumpy, it can go up and down depending upon the things, and they're still in the growing phase. So they don't want to give any guidance, but they are definitely saying that the future looks strong. So let's see how does it go. To if I mean, if you want me to sum it up, right, for E2E, I mean, they are in the, how to say, right place at the right time because the AI infrastructure is booming. Everyone is trying to get into expansion. All the companies, from small to big, they want to use AI to reduce the overall cost and everything. So they are at the right place. So the only question that we need to ask, whether the capacity expansion will go as per plan, whether they'll be able to execute what they are saying. And if they're able to do it right, this could be a very, very good long-term story and it could create a multi-baggers in the future. So you can put it in the comment whether you are invested in this or not and how did you like this video. And in case if you like this video, please do subscribe to the channel. Thank you and God bless you.